Linehan. Outstanding boot. Good Cougar roll, and here's the coverage inside the 2. What a punt for Jonny Linehan. A weapon for BYU.
Nate Phillips goes back to return the punt from Jonny Linehan. High end over end kick. Michael Davis trying to find it, and does, to down it at the 1. Arizona backed into its own end. When you come back.
So Linehan booms it away. Ishmael Adams signals fair catch. Drops it. Ball on the ground. Who's got it?
That was a great punt because the hang time eliminated any opportunity for return and also allowed the coverage to get down there and distract Ishmael Adams on the catch.
Jonny Linehan, who's only in his 2nd year as a football player. He's part of a few national championship rugby teams for BYU and a pretty valuable member of the football team now. 2nd time he's pinned one inside the 2.
So Linehan will boot this one away. Fair catch signaled and dropped. Ball on the ground, but Quay Johnson will cover it back inside his 15 at the 14-yard line. Defense, they did a nice job on the first few series for UCLA, but some adjustments seem to have been made as that ball is going to be dropped inside the 5-yard line and down there at the 1.
So here's Jonny Linehan. Fred Ross back to return. Ross lets it go.
Nice punt.
It will trickle inside the 10. Johnny Rugby with a 62-yard punt. And that'll back up Mississippi State if they can't pin him back.
Well, there's another opportunity here for a fake. Boise with one man hanging back at the 5-yard line. And he'll just take a conventional punt here.
Oh, what a play. That's inside the 5, down to the 2.
BYU will punt on 4th and 7 from West Virginia territory. And the former rugby player Jonny Linehan tried to sneak it and did, out of bounds inside the 2-yard line.
There's Jonny Linehan. He'll try to pin the Minutemen in. A beauty. Fielded at the 2-yard line by Anderson. Zane Anderson down to field the punt. 41-yard kick. And UMass will start their next drive at their own 3. Special teams making their first play of the day. No score here on BYU TV.
The native New Zealander to punt. And he gets it away for Killian Butler, who waves it off and watches it bounce. A wonderful punt by Linehan.
Linehan averaging 42 yards a punt. We'll kick it away to Quay Johnson. From New Zealand. Nice kick. Great coverage, BYU, and that's going to check up at the 2-yard line. ECU backed up deep in its own end when we return. 54-yard punt for Jonny Linehan.
Jericho Flowers back to return. And he'll bail out. And it'll be down inside the 10. Good punt by Jonny Linehan.
Make him punt the ball.
Hobbs is deep. They come with a rush, but don't get there. Hobbs will let it go. That may have touched the Utah player.
Their offense not relying on those big plays, really.
And here's an onside kick that Michael Davis falls on, but was he in bounds? Initial ruling is forthcoming. The officials getting together and deciding that it's BYU football.
So Jonny Linehan again, the rugby player, starred on their great rugby teams. Will punt again. Westerkamp back deep. Wow, how effective is that? Into about a 20-mile-per-hour breeze, kept it under the wind. Sends it all the way down to the 11-yard line where Michael Davis downed it. 64-yard punt in his first ever football game for Jonny Linehan.
Linehan will punt to Sowards, who's averaging 4.5 yards a return this year. Linehan will let it go, backspin. It will die inside the 5 and be touched down. 38-yard kick and no return.
Linehan, his last punt was blocked, and here he's going to take off. He's a rugby All-American, very capable, running with the football. First down, Cougars.
Is he going to first down on this? Because this wasn't easy, but he knows how to run with the football. Right here, he's not past the first down marker, and he breaks a tackle, and he's able to spin open.
Linehan punts away. And that will roll inside the 5-yard line to the 3.
Says a lot about Greg. Linehan punts. He's had plenty of practice today.
Ty Cottrell is down at the 10-yard line. Linehan launches another beauty. Fair catch called for just inside the 10. 48 yards for Linehan, a senior out of Auckland, New Zealand, doing his job. He's back the Spartans.
Jonny Linehan. Wow, with the win, another bomb as the rugby punter all the way into the end zone. Over the head of Stanley Morgan Jr. 77-yard punt.
His defense does the job. And a fair catch from Brandon Presley.
Back-to-back 3-and-outs for BYU on offense, and again, Jonny Linehan will have to punt from the back of the end zone. A rugby-style boot, and it is a good one. That helps flip the field again. And Corey Jones does not have a return.
Same time as the receiver is, and especially if it's an option route, and you're anticipating where he's going to go as he starts to go into his break.
First punt for Linehan. Pinned inside the 5. What a play downfield.
What BYU has to prove they have an answer to, that's where Taysom Hill really showed up. 48% on the year, a lot of that was to do with Taysom Hill's run ability on third down.
Jonny Linehan, who's been very good this year at pinning teams back inside the 20, bounces this one inside the 10 around Austin Conway. So a 17th punt out of 53 inside the 20 for the New Zealand native Jonny Linehan.
Versions through the air in the first half. Linehan, a line drive punt. Irvin will watch it skip at the 8 and check up. What a great kick by the junior, Jerry Linehan.
Do with the football. Jonny Linehan, who had the onside kick just a moment ago, floats one inside the 10. Well done.
Going into the offseason, as that position has been a struggle as Linehan launches one. Caught at the 44 and dropped. Let's see who comes out victorious in the pile. BYU says they got it, and they do.
Very good all day for UMass.
BYU's offense line has looked much better the last few games as opposed to today's. Isabella fumbles the ball. UMass is right there to jump on it.
Very dangerous kick returner. Ishmael Adams back deep, number 1 for UCLA. Backing up to his 10. He gets grabbed and dropped at the 14-yard line.
Jonny Linehan, the senior from New Zealand, on the punt for BYU after the 3-and-out. He averaged 43 yards per punt a year ago. Khalil Dawson again back to receive this punt. It's angling towards the near sideline. Hits at the 10 and bounces right out of bounds.
He's actually won 3 national championships of rugby at BYU himself.
Hey, he gets a few tries, Jess.
He does.
The All Blacks winning the World Cup again. There he is on the run, just drilling it. Simon's going to let it bounce, and what a great punt. Rolls out of bounds down around the 9-yard line. Folks, that's a 50-yard punt.
Team comes on. Jonny Linehan boots it, and they'll try and pin UCLA deep. They'll fair catch it. Adams will. inside his 10-yard line at the 7.
Run the football and play field position.
Linehan with the nice kick down to the 10-yard line.
4th down and 15. Nice punt by Linehan. Isabella. Fair catch. All the way back at the 26. So BYU's most effective player with the football in this first half has been Jonny Linehan. That's a 54-yard punt.
Corey Jones, good return man, is back to return this Jonny Linehan punt. Linehan, a New Zealand native, will try to pin him inside the 10, and a good kick to pin him at the 8-yard line. It's a 31-yard well-placed punt by Linehan.
Rodriguez back. Took his time, Linehan, but now punts it away. It bounces inside the 5. Nice. Wow.
First punt of the day for Jonny Linehan. He's averaging 43 yards. Rugby-style kicker puts his foot into it and drives James Allen back. Calls for a fair catch and fumbles.
Hobbs, who muffed the last punt at the 10. Hobbs has it inside the 10-yard line.
Those guys that they've used in a bunch of different spots. Previous coordinators spent time in the tackle box. That time with a nice pass breakup.
Fair catch called for by Donald Gray Jr. 41-yard kick.
Pressure and getting off the field.
Jonny Linehan punts away. And it's grabbed by Brandon Presley. 47-yard punt.
Johnny Linehan, senior from Auckland, New Zealand, on to punt it away. And it is a beauty. Ross says fair catch. It checks up like one of Andre's wedges and will stick at the 14-yard line.
Bringing out, and Jonny Linehan, Auckland, New Zealand native, from a rugby player, will punt away to Shaq Washington. And a sidewinding boomer. And Washington will let it roll instead of picking it up, and it will go inside the 10-yard line. Excellent punt by Linehan of 58 yards.
So Simon awaits the punter, rugby style, booms it. Simon hit on the catch. Got to learn when to make the fair catch, young man.
Remember, Jonny Linehan came into the game with 13 of his 35 punts inside the 20 this year. He has been masterful this season, pinning opponents back. Linehan the boot. Wilson the fair catch inside the 10. Another great punt by Jonny Linehan.
7.5. Now make it 8-yard line. A rugby-style boot. And a good one. Ishmael Adams backs up, makes the first one miss. Can't make the second one miss, and he's dropped at his own 27-yard line.
Linehan, the rugby-style kicker.
Poor first down play. Gave away the sack, put him in a hole.
Tough to dig out of a hole like that, too. Especially with their style of offense. It is not a big play group. Good coverage there. 51-yard kick. A loss of 3 on the return.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Jonny Linehan. Ty Detmer's offense can't get out from its own territory deep. So Linehan will need a boomer here, the New Zealand native from Auckland. Rugby-style kick in some traffic, and he boots it away. Really important kick, and Corey Jones. Jones running backwards, slips the tackle, and will get into BYU territory. Still excellent field position for the Rockets in plus territory. But a great punt by Linehan to at least help flip the field.